get down to it, folks. Now, shall we? Okay, this little piece of hair is going to annoy me for the rest of this recording. Okay. Halt. You're violating the law. Let me just get a sip of my Arizona tea. It was actually really hard not to try and spill it on the mic. Hi everybody, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be going over my round 4 game from the Baltimore Open today. This was the worst game of chess and the best game of chess I've ever played in my life simultaneously in the same game. It's a wild one, so strap in, maybe get a little tea, get a little coffee, a little snack, and enjoy because it's going to be a wild ride. All right, so this was a 110-minute game plus 30-second bonus. I was playing in the under 1600 section. Y'all know the drill. And I was playing black. This was a morning game. This was on Sunday. I had already played a full day on Saturday and like one round Friday night. So I was already getting a little tired. I had no idea the physical toll that over-the-board tournaments take, classical tournaments. Oh my God, I was starting to get tired. I woke up, but I was ready to go. I was like, maybe I can win. I was playing a 1550 this round. This was my first high-rated opponent over like 1100 that I had played in this tournament. So I was like, ooh, perfect. Now's my time to like show my skills. I was playing with black though, and I'm usually not a fan of playing with black. I enjoy my repertoire I have with white a lot better. So I was just like, you know what? We vibe. We're going to go for it. All right, so let's get into the game. My opponent played d4. I was like, cool. I have a repertoire versus d4 and e4 and c4. Like, I'm ready to go. So I played knight of 6, king's Indian. Sometimes I like to play g6 prior to knight of 6 to try and avoid the Trompowsky possibly. But, you know, whatever. I played knight of 6. My opponent played c4. I played g6. And now I'm avoided the Trompowsky, which is great. Then he played knight c3. I played bishop g7, and then he played e4. All just normal stuff. We're just chilling, kind of just blitzing out these moves at this point. I played d6, and now he played bishop g5, which is kind of the start of the different variations that you can go to within the King's Indian. So this is kind of my cue that he's going to be trying to have a push on the king side. He's going to try and open things up. He's going to try and trade dark squared bishops with me by going to queen d2, and then eventually he's going to play bishop h6 and force me to trade. Whether he takes, I would then take back with the king. So it would just like force me, like once I castle, to trade that way, and I don't really want to do that. So instead I thought, all right, like I totally forgot what my prep is. Love that. I castled, which I'm not supposed to do. I've totally forgot that my setup is supposed to not do this. And then he played f3, and I was like, oh, damn it. This is the freaking Samish, or however you say that. I was like, damn it. Like, I'm not supposed to be playing this setup. I'm not supposed to be castling kingside. Well, all right. What else am I going to do? Let's play c5. Just turn this into kind of like a Sicilian dragon, with this structure like going on with the pawns here and then the bishop, and then the pawn on c5. So let's just play it like that. Who knows? Maybe it'll be fine. And then so he played d5, closing the center, and then I played queen a5. Because now at this point I'm like, well, might as well try and turn this into breaking open on the queen side because I'm castled king side. Like, sure, we'll play for, you know, a6, b5. So he played queen d2, all normal stuff. Again, he's going to try and trade this bishop from me, and I'm going to try and not let that happen. I played knight bd7, just developing a piece, thinking about maybe in the future, maybe bringing this knight this way and trying to win this pawn. So then he played, oh, that's so rude. Then he played knight h6, and I was like, all right, sure, buddy. Like, you do you. I played a6, trying to be able to push b5. I spent 10 minutes playing a6. 10 minutes, which is insane in this position because there's literally no reason for it to take me 10 minutes. But I was thinking during this game, I was like, okay, I need help to push b5. But also a6 is kind of a crappy move because I'm not developing and I'm going to get yelled at for this. And I shouldn't play a6, but in those 10 minutes, I was just debating back and forth with myself of, okay, I need to play a6 because I need to support b5, but also a6 isn't that great of a move. I'm not developing a piece. So I was just like going back and forth, being pulled in multiple different directions. And I eventually just ended up playing a6 after 10 minutes. So I wasted 10 minutes for no reason. And then he played bishop e2, just developing. And now I was like, wait, is he gonna castle kingside? Because the whole point of the same-ish of doing like this f3 position to support like this pawn and setting up these pieces is so that he castles queenside. So I was like, sir, are you not gonna castle queenside? And I was like, damn, is he gonna castle kingside? I don't want to play b5 if he's gonna castle kingside. I want to push e6 instead to try and break up the center. The pin on my f6 knight, though, prevents me from ever moving it because I'll lose this pawn. So I was like, all right, what am I going to do? Let me just bring my queen back. And now, you know, maybe it's fine. Like my queen will protect d6 after I push e6 and it takes so that the queen cannot take my pawn. And I'll be fine. So that was my thought behind playing queen c7. Turns out this is a terrible move. And it gives the advantage all to white. And I suck and I should just play b5. And if I would have played b5, it would have looked something like this. He would have taken, I would have taken back, and then he would have taken, and I can't take back because the bishop defends. And then I would have played c4, just trying to like open things up. And now, like if he takes on c4, I can then play knight e5, attacking the bishop. Once he would take my queen, we could trade queens. And now he would play b4, and then I could play like rook a4, trying to pin the pawn. Now he plays bishop e2. I could win the pawn, and it would just look like a position like this, but he's up a pawn. So not ideal, and I don't really like that. So I instead played queen c7, which you guys saw. And then he castled kingside, and I was like, I knew it. So now let me play e6. I play e6. Expecting him to probably take. He does not do that. He plays rook a b1, and I was like, what? And he took about like 7 minutes here, and I was just like waiting for him to move, like la di di. And then I was already mad at myself during this game. I was like, this is not the position that I wanted. I have no idea how to play this position. I'm just vibing, just trying to figure it out as I go. I have no theory. This is just chess at this point, and I don't like the position because all of my pawns are literally looking like this way, and then my bishop is looking this way, and his king is over here. So I was like, this sucks for me. So he played rook a b1, and then I just played e5. I was like, you know what? I'm happy to see the center closed temporarily. Most of my plans within the King's Indian defense deal with a closed center, of trying to then like maybe play f5, like normally when I play this types of positions. But so I was like, you know what? We'll close the center. We'll move on with our lives. I don't really know how this works with the c5 pawn being here. Maybe it stops b4. Who knows? We're just going to figure it out. So I played e5, closing the center. And then he played b4, and I was like, dude, what? Isn't that just like a free pawn? So I took the pawn after like 5 minutes because I was like, is this free? Like, are you trying to trick me? Am I not seeing anything? So after like looking through, I was like, it's not like he can take back with the rook because, I have queen c5 check and I win the rook. So I was just looking, and I was like, you know what? I'll just take the free pawn. I don't really want that c pawn anyway because I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with it. So I'll just take it. And then he took back. And I literally almost gasped. I was like, I immediately play queen c5 check, and he is distraught immediately. He's like, oh my God. Like, he's obviously not saying anything verbally, but he's like sighing and like just visibly distraught. And I was like, sorry, I'm going to win your rook. I was so happy. So happy. I was like, I'm about to beat a 15-50 with black. In the first 14 moves of the game, I'm up a rook. This couldn't be going any better. So he plays bishop e3, blocking. I take the rook, very happy. I actually got up after this move and I walked around the room because I was like, just so like, oh my God, I'm about to win this game. This is amazing. And then he played rook b1, attacking my queen. I really don't have that many squares that I can go to. I have to go to queen a5. So I go queen a5, because everything else is covered. This is covered by the knight. These are covered by the bishop. This is covered by the pawn. And queen a3 sucks because of rook b3 comes, and then I'm screwed. Where am I going to go? I can like go back here, but like what's the point? Why not just go there like first? So I played queen a5, and then he played knight f2, bringing his knight over. I then played knight c5, just bringing my pieces out into better positions, and then he played knight d3. And I was like, perfect. Let's simplify the position. Let's trade. I'm up a full rook. Why would I not do that? So I take the knight, and then he plays bishop b6. And I almost shit myself in this position. I almost lost my shit. I literally stared at the board and I was like, am I about to get my queen trapped? Like, are you freaking kidding me? So I sat here and I thought for about 11 minutes, and I found the most beautiful sequence in the entire world. I literally was sitting there with my hands in my hair, like just staring at the board like, bitch, don't fuck this up. You can do this. Do not lose your queen. You're going to be fine. And so I sat there for 10 minutes, and then I played queen a3. So I took my time to find this beautiful sequence. So he plays bishop takes d3. And I knew that if he took that bishop, or if he took that knight on d3, I was going to play bishop h6. And this is such a beautiful sequence because if he takes, I just take here and everything's fine. I'm all good. My queen is not trapped and I'm totally fine. And, you know, he can play like rook b3. I can then check him. He can defend. And then, you know, I can just take this pawn and I can get out and everything's good to go. I get out and I run away. So I knew I was going to be fine. Or he can play queen c2, which is what he played. He has to defend this knight and he can't go to any other square, you know, without a queen trade. So I was like, you know what? This is perfect. So now I played knight here to d7 to attack the bishop, not giving him any time to do anything. And now he can't play rook b3 because I can just get out. I just have this beautiful check and I force a trade and I'm very happy. Everything's good. I don't lose my queen. So I knew that this was going to be fine. But instead he played bishop f2, just bringing the bishop back. And now I was like, perfect. Thank you very much. Queen a5. Get me the hell out of Dodge. Get me out of here. I don't want to be here. He then played g4 and I was like, God damn it. This guy, like, just resign. Just resign. Like, please. But obviously he's not going to resign. He plays g4. And then I played queen d8, just being like, you know what? I'm terrified of my queen getting trapped again. So let's just get out of here, bring all my pieces over to the king side, and then just attack him on the king side, especially now that he's opening up things over here with the g4 push. And then he played h4. And I was like, bro, like, calm down. Like, please calm down. So I thought here for about 6 minutes. I knew that g5 was coming, and I was like, damn, that's going to be really annoying because I would preferably like to bring my bishop here. So instead of having to move it back. And so I played f6, being like, dude, if you want to play this, I'm just going to trade and, you know, win a pawn. And so I played f6 and then he played bishop f1. And I was like, dude, like, you know, he's just bringing his pieces to better squares. That bishop was doing nothing on d4 or on d3. So I played then knight c5 and I was like, perfect. Bring my knight in to a beautiful square. If you want to trade, I'm very happy to see it. That's great. And I also wanted to get it out of the way of this bishop so this bishop could eventually develop. And so then he played knight e2 and I played queen e7. I played this because I eventually want to get my bishop out, you know, out of the way. I don't think that I really understood why I was playing this, other than maybe, oh, I can bring like my queen over here, or I can like, it just has more mobility, like, you know, and this knight does defend this, but this is temporary. Say I want to play bishop here. He can just take this and now, you know, this pawn is gone. And I should at this point just be like, you know what? Who freaking cares about the fucking pawn? Who cares about the pawn? Lose the pawn. You're up a rook. Who cares about the freaking pawn? And I should have played something like this. However, I did not. I instead played this weird queen move, and then he brought his knight over. He's just trying to bring his knight in, and I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'll play bishop f4, attacking your knight. You're going to go back. I don't really care. I should have just brought my bishop back to h6, but I didn't do that. I was like, you know what? I don't care. Trade. I'm up. Let's trade. So then I instead played f5, and I thought, this is great. This is lovely. I'm going to break open the center and I'm going to kill him and it's going to be wonderful and I'm going to win this game. Hi, editing Sam here. I totally forgot to explain the reason why I played f5. And the reason was because I thought I was a low-key genius. I thought, okay, if they take, I take, they take back, I win the rook. So he took the bishop and we traded. And then he took again and I took again. And then he pushed. And I was like, damn, those pawns are ugly. But what am I going to do? You know? So I played. Now, at this point, I had about 30 minutes on the clock. He had about 30 minutes on the clock. Mind you, I won the rook on move 14. It is now move 31. And I am still not winning. Like, I am winning, but the game isn't over. And I was like, dude, can you just resign? Like, you're wasting our time. I'm like, this is ridiculous. But it's also on my, like, it's mostly my fault for not being able to convert this position. So he's just giving me more and more problems and things to think about. And I'm wasting a lot of time thinking about these problems, where in reality, I should just lose the pawn and move on with my life. So I played queen g7, being like, you know what? I'm going to bring my queen over this way. I'm going to maybe eventually push this pawn, like, and then he can't take because it's pinned, and like everything will be fine. And I'll open up the whole entire position. So instead he plays queen d2, attacking my pawn. And I was like, you know what? I don't care. Take the pawn. Take the pawn. I should, in this position, play knight e4, attacking the queen and just giving up, actually, the knight. And just saying, hey, these pawns are super strong and you're about to get killed on this side. Like, it's about to go down. And I should play something like this and then open things up. But there's no way, in reality, I was actually going to sacrifice my knight like that. I'm sorry, computer. I'm not going to do that. There's no way I'm doing that. So instead, like a normal person and not like a freaking computer, I just played knight d7, bringing my knight back. I was like, you know what? It'll be fine. He attacks my queen by playing bishop d4, and then I played knight d5 or knight e5, and I was like, you know what, bro? Let's trade. I'm happy to trade. He instead moves his king, and at this point, he had 17 minutes on the clock. I had 15 minutes on the clock, and so I then played bishop d7, finally being able to play bishop d7, and he plays rook b6. He didn't take the pawn, which was surprising to me. He's instead attacking my other pawn, and both pawns are hanging. This pawn is hanging, and this pawn is hanging, and this pawn is hanging. So 3 pawns are hanging at the moment, and I do not have sufficient material to be able to defend all 3 at the same time. So instead I was like, you know what? Let's defend this pawn right here on d6. How do I want to defend that pawn? Let's play queen g6. At this point, it was 3.5 hours into the game. I was pissed that I only had 15 minutes left on the clock, and I was very upset that I had gotten into this. And I played this move in about a minute. And then as soon as I played it, I almost gasped because my knight is hanging, because I cannot take back. Because if I take back, he wins the queen. So the position goes from -5 to +3 in one move. This game is very emotional to me. I actually was not able to look at this game for a really long time because it just pisses me off. So he won the knight, and now I'm losing. I'm just straight up losing. There's nothing more about it. I'm losing. So I was so distraught at this point. I played queen e8, which is what I should have played in the last one. I should have played, instead of playing queen g6, I should have played, not queen e8. I should have played queen e7. And then, like, if he wants to take that pawn, like, whatever. Let me double up over here. Take that pawn, dude. I don't give a shit. Let's trade. You don't want to trade? Let's trade. You don't want to trade? Let's trade. I'm going to force you to trade. We're not going to repeat. He plays, he can play rook b7, and I'm going to force a trade. Let's trade. Perfect. Get on out of here. Move out of the way. Move on with my life. Trade. And this is technically winning for black, even though this is technically kind of a hard position also to play out with. Like, I had like 14 minutes on the clock at this point, and he had about like 17, 18 minutes. And so if this would have actually gone through, this actually would have been a really hard endgame to play. So obviously I didn't see this, because if I would have realized that playing all the way back here that queen g6 was a blunder, I wouldn't have played it, obviously. But I played it, and I literally was so angry at myself. So I now played, he took, and I was like, fuck. So I played queen e8. He took the other pawn. I played queen h5 thinking, okay, maybe I can just try and like win this pawn, or like bring a rook over here. Maybe eventually if this bishop moves to win this pawn. Like, and I'm just going to try and put pressure on this king side. And so he just moves his king, defending the pawn, of course. I play h6, like, dude, let's open it up. Let's go for it. Instead, he takes my pawn, and I was like, oh my god. And he's attacking my bishop. And I was like, I hate this game so much. This is just winning for white, like straight up just winning for white. I had 7 minutes on the clock left. He had 9 now at this point. And I took the pawn. He did not take the bishop because I can just take his bishop if he does. So instead he took the pawn, and I moved my bishop, and then he starts bringing his queen. And I start panicking because I have 3 minutes on the clock. Yes, there's a 30-second bonus, but just imagine that I was winning in this position all game, and now all of a sudden with 3 minutes left on the clock, I need to think so incredibly hard to not lose this game, and I have 3 minutes. So I start freaking out, and I play bishop g6, like, you know what, whatever, let's defend this pawn, and everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna be okay. So then he plays c5, and I'm like, oh no, he's about to push all these pawns, and I'm gonna lose. And he has 2 passed pawns, or 1 passed pawn, and I am gonna lose this game. So I thought, okay, let me bring my rook up. Like, maybe I'll be able to then, I don't know, double up rooks, like just be able to protect more. I need to get my rook on a8 out. The rook that I was up since move 14 has not moved the whole game. So I've just been playing this game like I'm not up a rook for some stupid reason. So I played rook f7, and then he played bishop c4, bringing out one of his pieces. I played rook a f8, doubling up. Then he played rook b6, moving out of the way because he's going to push those damn pawns. I played f4 check, and then he moved his king. So then I played king h7 because he's going to push here, and then my rook would have been pinned to my king. And so I played king h7, and then he plays d6, exactly what I thought. And instead, I thought, let's play rook e8. Why not? Let's just hang my rook. Who cares, right? But he did not take the rook. He instead played d7, attacking my rook. And I was like, I'm fucked. I'm about to lose this game. I had stopped even taking notation at this point because I was like, I'm going to lose. And I have like a minute left on the clock. And so we're in blitz territory at this point, which is not my forte at all. And I was like, oh, I'm fucked. So I moved here thinking, okay, maybe I can try and like trick him into letting me take this pawn. And then, of course, he doesn't do that. And he takes here because I was thinking, okay, you know, if he takes like this, I'm going to be good to go. I'm going to be good to go. I'm going to be good to go. He's going to be forced to go here, and it's going to be mate. Like, it's going to be fine. He's going to be forced to go here, and then I'm just going to mate him. And so I knew that that would have been fine. So instead, you know, I like setting up little traps if he would have taken that rook. But instead, he just defends. And I was screwed. So I played this thinking, okay, he's going to push. And then he just promotes. And I'm losing my shit. I had 30 seconds on the clock. I took it. He took back. Here, checking me first. And then I had literally 3 seconds on the clock. And I played king g8. And I got mated. You tell me, huh? You tell me. Because somehow I managed to lose a winning game. A -7 position, I managed to fumble the bag and lose this game. This game has haunted me for the past 2 months since I played it. I didn't even start analyzing this game until about a week ago because I was so distraught and emotionally hurt and pissed that I had lost this game. I was so upset, just so disappointed in myself. After a 4.5-hour game, our times went down to the last second. I played this move with 3 seconds on the clock. And then it goes up 30 seconds, which is great. But if you get mated, what are you going to do? So I lost this game, and I looked at my opponent and I was like, I cannot believe that I lost this game. I literally am so upset with myself. He was like, well, I just spent the last 2 hours hating myself, so I understand. And I was like, oh, no worries. I'll just, take that on, that hatred, and I'll keep that for myself. Thanks for that. Because I'm going to hate myself for the rest of the day. And so, which one is not good. You should definitely be able to, get over these things, these losses, but they're sometimes really painful, especially when you're in a winning position and you can't convert. And so I fumbled the bag and I lost. And then I had about an hour until my next game, and I was so distraught. I did not want to play chess anymore. I was done for the day. I was also exhausted. I had just played a 4.5 hour game, just to lose in a winning position. So I was very upset. I went and got lunch with my friends, and they tried to cheer me up, but I was just so upset. And I lost this game. And so this was simultaneously the best game of chess I've ever played, with the beautiful sequence I had found of not losing my queen, and then the worst game of chess I've ever played because I could not convert a winning position, and I made it super complicated for no entire reason, and I lost with load time trouble. So, because I needed, in this position, let's go back. I would say this position, I needed about another, 20 minutes to try and convert this and finish the game. This is a hard position to play. And so when I played this and then he went here, I was like, damn, I'm going to lose everything. Everything is falling apart. Everything is falling apart. This was one of those moments where I honestly just got outclassed. This is how you know that I have never played a classical tournament before. I don't know how to manage my time very well in a classical tournament, and I got into blitz territory for no reason at all, and I lost this game. It's a little bit easier to look at now that I'm 2 months out from it. I'm a little more detached from it, especially being able to analyze it now. I spent a couple hours working on this game and trying to figure out what I could have done in certain positions, and it has made me feel a little bit better, but this game will haunt me for a while. I mean, these things are going to happen. I'm going to lose games that are winning. That's just part of growing in chess and playing chess. Things happen. Grandmasters blunder. These things happen. But it was definitely an emotional roller coaster, and I was very distraught throughout the entire rest of the day. I got to my round 5 and I was like, can I just withdraw from this tournament? I don't want to be here. I don't want to play this game. And I need to work on that in the future for not letting my morning round affect my night round, and being able to detach those emotions and just play a new game and restart. I don't know how to do that though, especially when it's a really painful loss like this. This was my hardest game out of the entire tournament, not because of the actual game itself, which in the end game was very difficult, but because of the emotional toll that it took on me, the ups and downs of having to try and convert a position when you have so much time and you think that you're going to be fine and you're going to win this game, and then you don't, and it's just so disheartening. But you live and you learn. I will hopefully not make this mistake again. I probably will. There's probably going to be games that I'm winning and I lose, but I learned something from this game, and that's to respect your opponent's threats and don't care about little pawns that you can lose when you're up a full rook. I left this round and I was so upset with myself for the next 2 weeks. I just was thinking about this game, how could I lose this? How could I lose this? This is so upsetting. I would have beat a 1550. This would have been amazing. But since then, I've played another tournament that I did well in, and that has kind of just boosted my confidence. Hey, you are able to play good chess. Sometimes you're playing bad chess though. That's what happens when you're an intermediate player. You're going to have bad games that you should have won. It was fucking wild to play. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope you learned something from it, whether that be hey, if you're up a rook, maybe bring out the rook. Maybe don't let the rook just sit there in the corner and not develop. Just a thought, just a little thought. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.